Let's play with some makeup brands by YouTube gurus. So let's just get into it. We have quite a bit of products to try out. Some of these I've already tested, but I wanna talk about them a little bit. Let's begin with the eyes. So the first one we're gonna try is Jamie Genevieve. That's her last name. Her first name is Jamie. Her last name is Genevieve, so her makeup brand is called Vieve. So the very first product is her eye wand. So this is essentially an eye wand that primes, colors, and shapes your eyes in matter of seconds. It's long lasting, it's highly pigmented formula that comes in 6 neutral tones and glides on with ease. So basically you can use this on its own as a primer, or you can wear it on its own or prime your eyelids for other eyeshadows. And it kind of just blends really seamlessly into like a powder formula. Let's put this on. Wow, that was nice. Very effortless. It definitely brightened up my eyelids, canceled out any of that redness, but it's not like super opaque. That was really easy to use. I just like how creamy this is, but it doesn't disappear on the eyelids, you know what I mean? Like even with the brush, it's super easy. Let's move on to the eyeshadow palette. So for eyeshadow palette, this is by Dominique Cosmetics, and this is her transition palette. I've already had this in my collection. I already used it and I really like it. You have neutrals, you have cool tones, you have warm tones. And the thing, what she was going with this palette is you can use it for the rest of your face as well. Like you have a setting powder, you have bronzers, you have blushes, and all of these are matte formulas. So this right here is $48. And like I said, I already used it, I already like it. All the colors, they're very easy to use, they're very easy to pair, I think all year round for whatever you're going for. So I'm just gonna quickly create a very simple look. And I am going to use her darker colors also for like a really quick little flick for the eyes. I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush. I'm gonna take the shade Natural and really just kind of set my eyelid. Let's do a little bit of caramel and soft and sweet. And plop it right into the crease, but going a little bit above as well. I'm gonna take these 2 shades, Blushing and Mocha. I'm gonna take Coal. Let's do a little bit of Cinnamon. Cinnamon and Coal, these 2 shades right here. I'm just gonna create a wing out of this. I just love that these shadows are pigmented, but they're so easy to use. I'm gonna go back into Cinnamon with like a really small little fluffy brush and just very gently just go on top of that right here. I'm just gonna build up on that. I'm gonna go back in those 2 of the lightest shades in the palette that I used first. I'm gonna place that right here in the center and then kind of bring it at a diagonal. For mascara, we have Huda Beauty, and this is her Legit Lashes. You deserve the best lashes mascara. Double-ended volumizing and lengthening mascara, $27. So on one side you have curl and length. It has a nice curved wand, and then we have volume. This one looks very intense and looks like it's gonna be a very clumpy mascara. So it's long lasting and it's a fiber mascara. Fascinating. That's really cool. So first they say apply for volume and then do the curl and length. They do say use for the bottom lashes, use the curl and length formula. So for best results, apply both layers before the product dries on your lashes. Interesting. All right, so let's do the volume first and then we'll do the curl and length. Wow, very black right away. And it kind of has like that moussey texture in a way. You know, it's not like a super liquidy mascara. It's a little bit drier. So we'll see how good that's going to last on the lashes. Is it going to flake? Is it going to transfer? We got the volume on there. Let's go in with curl and lengthen. I'm just gonna focus it more on the ends. I think because the wand, this one's a little more stiff, you can really kind of just brush that formula through a little more with control and ease instead of the very first brush. Even though I got it all over my eyes. We'll see how easy it is to clean up this mascara. It's definitely on the drier side and it's weighing my lashes down quite a bit. We'll see how the wear time is though, because I like how dark it is, but it's not too intense and it's not too clumpy. For foundation, we're gonna take Huda Beauty's. This is their #Full Filter Luminous Matte Foundation, $40 each. I have 2 shades. We have Vanilla and Chai. So I already tested this before. It's been in my collection for a little bit already, and it's definitely a very full coverage foundation, but it's really pretty. I feel like a little goes a long way with this product. I like that it's full coverage. I like that it has a matte finish, but it's not like a super matte finish where you look very dull and just one-dimensional. It actually still has a little bit of a very natural matte finish. It's really stunning. Packaging is really nice, but you can see it's a very thick type of a texture. Like, look at that. That's why I say a little bit goes a long way. Like, you don't need a full pump unless you really want that really full coverage. And I like to mix the two shades together. My preferred method to apply this is with a damp sponge, just because it is so thick. And I find that I do have to kind of work quick with this because of the formula, but it does, look at that. It just blends out so easy and just so effortlessly. I also like to pair this foundation with more of a glowy primer underneath for that extra glow. So for this foundation, I think this is definitely, like I said, a very full coverage foundation, but a little bit goes a long way. And I feel like it does stretch really well on your face, but once it sets, it looks really beautiful. And I feel like it's a really good foundation for like a several hour event, or if you really want a crazy full coverage day. When you look up close, you can definitely see the makeup sitting on the face, but it's very soft. It's not really heavy and cakey looking. Let's move on to eyebrows. Both of these are by Huda Beauty. The first one I already used, and I actually really like this product. This is her #Bomb Brows. I have shade number 2, Neutral Blonde, and this is their Microshade Brow Pencil, $17. And this pencil, I believe, is the tiniest pencil I have ever used. I mean, that's the tip right there. It's so tiny and micro. This right here, you can be very precise, create those hair-like strokes. But I will say the one negative is because it is so tiny, and if you have to fill in your brows a lot, you will use this pencil rather quick. But I do enjoy the formula. Formula is really nice. It's really long lasting. It has a spoolie on the other side, but it is a really beautiful pencil if you do enjoy those hair-like strokes when using a pencil instead of a pen. The second brow product is also by Huda Beauty. Never tried this before. This right here is her #Bomb Brows Full and Fluffy Volumizing Fiber Gel, $19. So this right here is a brow gel that tames, tints, and adds an instant fluff factor with volumizing microfibers for natural looking fuller brows. Okay, it's definitely depositing the pigment, and it's like the brow pencil but a little bit more intense in color. I think this might be a pretty good product for like no makeup day, but you still want a little bit of color on your brows. But we'll see how intense the hold is. I like the color. The color is really nice and neutral. They're definitely very bushy now and very full. All right, let's move on to concealer. There's a lot of Huda Beauty products just because she's one of the bigger ones that has a full range of makeup, not just like certain products. But this right here is her Overachiever Concealer. This is a high coverage creamy concealer that has a matte finish. Really intrigued by this formula. I have shade Meringue 04N, and then I picked Marshmallow number 2B. $30 each, very expensive for a concealer. I'm gonna take 4N, which is the darker of the two shades. I'm just gonna start with a little bit. That looks like a lot. I'm just gonna kind of spread it around with the tip because it feels really nice. It's very creamy. It's definitely very thick, but it's spreading out really nice. I think I want to take a brush and kind of spread it out and then use a dampened sponge on top. I just want to see what it's gonna look like with the brush. See if it's gonna look really heavy. Definitely full coverage. Again, a little goes a long way with these full coverage products, especially like around the eyes, because then it can just look super heavy and very like aging on your skin. That's actually really pretty. Wow, that's actually really pretty. Okay, before I set that, let's take one of my favorite products from her. This is her Tantour Contour and Bronzing Cream. This is $30, also by Huda Beauty, and I have shade Fair. It looks very intimidating in the pan, but it's actually really easy to work with and just blend on your face. Blend on your face, on your cheekbones. It's a cream to powder contour and bronzing formula. So what I like about this, it's not super cool toned where I have to use a bronzer on top. It just somehow sculpts and then warms up my complexion at the same time. I'm just gonna actually use her brush. This is her Sculpt and Shade face brush. It's very pigmented, but it's also buildable. It's so intriguing. And I think my favorite product, the thing about this product is the shade, and it has a beautiful finish. It's matte, but somehow looks airbrushed on the skin. For blush, I picked up Cosmetics' newer launch. It's their So Soft blush. Each retail for $30, and I have 2 shades. I picked up Lychee and Baby. These look so insanely beautiful, and the way they swatch, wow. So this is a blendable cream blush stick that is infused with squalane and vitamin E for a creamy and luxurious texture that applies seamlessly, and it creates a youthful and healthy complexion with a satin skin-like finish. That sounds incredible. So this right here is Lychee. This one looks like gonna be my favorite color ever. Like, look at that. I barely pressed it onto my hand, and it's so creamy, so pigmented. Ooh, and that texture is so nice. And the way it blends out, it blends it to this like beautiful powder formula. Like, look at that. Ooh, that is pretty. And then we have Baby. That's like hot pink. It's like a hot baby pink. Oh my goodness, that's stunning. Insane. So pretty. Let's apply Lychee. I'm just gonna apply it straight to my cheekbones. I'm gonna use my fingers and then use the sponge to blend this out because the texture is just magical. That is so easy, but look how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. That is so pretty. I do want to set my face using the newest product by Huda Beauty. This is their Glowish Luminous Pressed Powder. I have shade number 1 Fair. It's $33. It's a pressed powder formula, but it also has coverage to it. So you can use it as a foundation as well, but also as like a setting powder for your makeup. It's a smoothing and blurring luminous pressed powder that gives you coverage without the cake. I love that. And I already swatched this product, and it's so silky, so creamy, and like so buttery. Look at that. That's insanely pigmented. And it does have a glow to it, so I'm really excited about this. He's gonna do that much. Barely tapped it in here. And I'm just gonna go over just like that on top. Oh wow, it is actually providing coverage. Whew, this might be a little too fair for my skin. I'm gonna apply mascara to the lower lash line. I kind of want to keep the lower lash line simple and clean, but with a little bit of mascara. And I'm just using the curl and length side from the mascara. For highlighter, Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. This is her, it's Accent Light Highlighter. $29, and wow, she actually has a lot of shades. I chose shade Iced, but this highlighter looks very, very pretty. And the swatch looked really stunning. Let's apply some highlighter, shall we? There it is. There's that Jaclyn Hill highlighter. It's actually very icy, just like the name says, iced. All right, so let's move on to lips, also by Jaclyn Hill. And I'm really excited for this because swatching these lip liners, the formula feels very, very luxurious, very creamy. But this right here, this is her Pout Spoken lip liner, each $18. And I picked up several shades. We have shade Bourbon. Very beautiful. Next we have Caramel Latte, which the color does not look like a caramel latte to me personally. It's definitely a little more rosy. And then we have Blondie, which is definitely the lightest shade. It's like a beige pink. That's really pretty. I think I want to go with the middle shade, Caramel Latte. I will say, the one thing that bugged me about her packaging, this is Caramel Latte, and then that's from the actual pencil. Not liking that. That is very creamy. Very pigmented, very easy to control. Last but not least, for lipstick, this is by Eldridge. This is her luxurious Lucent lip color, 26 pounds each. So this shade that I'm gonna use is called Kitten Mischief. So pretty. So this right here is sheer to semi-sheer buildable coverage lipstick with a satin finish. And it delivers with one swipe, or you can build the color to create a more radiantly polished look. It's supposed to have a very comfortable and a luxurious texture that feels smooth, light, and pleasurable on the lips. It's actually really pretty with a lip liner. I actually really like that. I actually really like how the makeup turned out today. Very simple, but you have a nice smoky, like winged eyeshadow look. I like the lips. It's just really pretty. I will say one thing right away that I'm not enjoying is that eyebrow product, this brow gel. I'm not liking it. It has pretty much like no staying power at all. I do like the color that I provided to my brows, but a lot of my brow hairs are now just fallen and just kind of going all over the place like they usually are. I'm gonna take my Benefit 24-hour brow gel just to kind of clean up these brows right here at the top. But otherwise, I'm really liking how the makeup came together. All the formulas, most of the formulas are really beautiful, very easy to work with. They're very pigmented, they're very blendable, they're very buildable, beautiful. All right, I'll see you guys throughout the day and we'll see how the makeup is wearing. So I'm doing only one update for this full face just because by the time we were done working, and by the time we came home, it was super dark outside. And then by the time I made dinner, I was just like, you know what? Let me just do the one update at the very end of the night and just kind of tell you how everything is wearing. I think overall, I'm still looking pretty good. I like how the cheeks are looking. I'm liking how the bronzer and the blush and the highlight, everything just looks really, really beautiful and just, it's still popping. You can still see my brows. You can see the eyeshadow, mascara. That's like the very first thing I'm noticing when you look up close. You can see how badly the mascara has transferred. The next thing that didn't really wear as long was the eye wand. I can see a little bit of creasing right here and right there. I love the formula. I love how creamy they are, but the longevity is just not really there as much as other eyeshadow wands. Next thing I am noticing, I am looking a little heavy now with the makeup, and not just where I powder. I'm looking kind of heavy all over the place. Like I said, it's a type of makeup, this foundation, it's a very thick foundation. Again, I'm gonna keep repeating myself, a little goes a long way. I think the foundation is wearing really nicely with everything combined. Last but not least, lips. I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a lip liner on my lips, I think, just a tad. But like I said, after work and then coming home making dinner, I did not reapply lipstick, let's just be honest. Overall, a lot of these makeup products I think are great. I think some of them are a little overpriced. And then some other products are just, you know, they're good. They're good for what they are. They're not the best, but they're good and they deliver. I think overall, if you're looking into Huda Beauty, definitely check out her contour / bronzer. I really enjoy her foundations. I enjoy her brow product. The concealer, I think it's a little heavy, especially for under my eyes. I'm seeing that it's kind of heavy. Dominique Cosmetics, I really like her eyeshadow. I tried some other products by her, but I think her eyeshadows I really enjoy. Jaclyn Hill, her highlighter, her lip liners are stunning, beautiful formulas. They're not gonna break the bank, and I think they're priced really well for the quality and for how they perform. And who else? Cosmetics, love, love, love her blushes. I'm so excited I got my hands on these cream blushes. I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching, spending time with me and this makeup, and I'll see the next one very soon. Bye.